So we're gonna get a little bit of Kabbalah here, in this beginning of this chapter over here. So the Rebbe is explaining. The Lubavitcher Rebbe is explaining the concept of the greatness of Matan Torah, and he gave the analogy of the Yonim and Tachtonim, that there was the upper worlds and the lower worlds. We just said on Rosh Chodesh at the in the Hallel, Hashemayim, Shemayim, Lashem, L'Aretz, Nasam, Adam. The heavens were given, so to say, to spirituality, Lashem, and to the world were given to man, to physicality. And then God, on Matan Torah, broke this decree. So the Rebbe continues to explain the meaning of the higher worlds and the lower worlds. What's the meaning when you say El Yonim v'Tachtonim? What is the meaning? What is the meaning? What means something that's higher and something that's lower? Is it higher and lower in space? Like, you have to look up to the heavens, and the heavens has to look down to man. What is the meaning of higher and lower? So the Rebbe says there are two ways to which to define a higher and lower world. The first way they can be defined is within the framework of location. So everything's location. Mm-hmm. Right? You're in a certain location, you're going to pay more money for it. So you're a higher and lower. In this concept, worlds can be considered as higher or lower, depending on closely the location. So what is location over here? Is Hashem. God, you're higher to God. It's like some people say, is it better to daven on a plane? It's very higher. You're 30,000 feet higher, right? You're higher to God if you're on a plane than you're on the earth. You're closer to heaven. But that doesn't mean that. You're not going to get higher on a plane.
Logically, don't you have to have a synagogue higher than the rest of the...
Right. There's higher than the rest of the buildings. The synagogue has to be higher.
Why is that? It's got to have some sort of...
I don't think that's higher. That's taller. A synagogue needs to be taller.
I understand.
Not higher.
No, I understand.
What does it mean higher? A synagogue has to be Kaddish. So that's a higher level. Your house has to be a certain level. You have the Shus HaRabim, the public domain. Your house has to be higher. And then a synagogue has to be even higher.
And in the Havdil, also the churches
Right.
and the mosques do the same thing,
Right. When I went to Poland, there was a decree, the law was that you're not allowed to have a synagogue cannot be higher than a church. So how do they do it? How do they make the synagogue higher? So you go to all the synagogues there, it's interesting, it goes down. To go into the synagogue, you had to go down. So that's how they did it higher. So it was lower than a church, but you had to go down into the synagogue. If you go to the synagogues, you'll see, you go into the store, and you go you go 4 steps, like a basement.
Like in 770.
So it was like lower outside, but it was higher because they made it lower inside, so it was higher. So the Jews had to figure out a way how to be higher. So what's higher? Higher means taller. The truth is, that's why Yitaka should make a shul taller. You come to shul, the person says, why do you make it so tall? A shul should be taller, should be higher than other things. But that's higher. That's a higher concept, taller concept. The higher versus the lower level existence comes from the kav. Are you ready for some spirituality at 6 o'clock in the morning? So Chassidus explains, Kabbalah explains, creation of the world, you had Tzimtzum. Tzimtzum means a contraction, where God contracted himself, so to say, left what's called a makim pani, a empty space. And then in this empty space came through what's called a kav. A kav, in simple meaning, is a line. Kav, a ray. And came through this tzimtzum, came through a kav, a ray of light. So it means the limited revelation of godliness, which came after tzimtzum, the initial concealment of godliness, which enables the creation to come into being, And this is the source of creation. Now we have the concept of where we have the capability of creation. Now if you have a kav, when you say you have a ray that comes through this empty space, so to say. So this kav, this ray of light that comes through this emptiness, comes from a place before this tzimtzum, comes from a place before this empty space, because the kav is coming from before, but it penetrates this empty space. Penetrates this empty space. So the literal translation of kav is a line. Just like a line starts from a point and continues with more points that follow one another at an increasing distance from the initial point, creating the world through the kav enables creation to have various levels, one higher and lower than the other. So in essence, Kabbalah says, how do you have higher and lower in the world? Because to God, there's no concept of mata and maila. To God, before tzimtzum, so to say, there's no aspect of what is higher and lower. God is above tzimtzum. But this kav, this concept of this tzimtzum, this empty space, and this kav, this line, created, even though this line comes from before the level of emptiness, this line automatically has a maila mata. Kav itself, when you say there's a kav, there's a ray, there's a line, then the line started someplace. Even if the line is going to go forever, the line needed to start someplace. It didn't come from nowhere. So the line needs to have something where it started and something where it ended. If you take a rope that comes from a very high place, so there's a place where it's higher and there's a place where it's lower. Even though it's the same rope, but ultimately you have a distance, you have a higher place of rope and a lower place of rope. So if creation would not have been brought about through the kav, each world would have been created directly from Ein and Seif. This would make it, each world, the same distance from godliness and making them equal. If the world came from not a kav, if the world came from Atzmus, which is higher than space and time and distance, then there would not be no concept of distance. What created the concept of upper and lower location is this kav, which this kav itself comes from before the tzimtzum, but still it's the concept of this line that created this line, this ray that created a differentiation between what is more holier or what is less holier, what is more physical and what is less physical.
It limits everything.
So it brought limitation to the world. Kabbalah says this is what brought limitation to the world. This concept of kav, this aspect of this ray that comes about, that brings about. So in essence, if Atzmus, how do you express Atzmus? Atzmus also we consider a light. Because what do you give a name? Ein Seif. It's called the infinite light. So it's also an aspect of a kav, really. It's also, that's a ray. What's a light? A light is a ray. I take a light, I take a beam, I make a ray. That's called a ray. That's a line. Every light is a line. Yeah, you take how big the beam is going to be? It's still going to be a line. Right? You have its space high there, it's a line. And it penetrates. Take a bulb, it's a ray. Right? Take a bulb, there's all rays of light that's coming down. We cannot see it. Over here it looks like one big, no, but it's your light bulb each is a ray of light. That goes to a certain width, and Baruch Hashem, they figure out how to situate the light. Imagine if you have one over there, you'll have just two rays coming down. So like this, they situate it near each other, so now it looks like one big, beautiful light. But it's not like that. It's rays of light that are coming down. So this ray of light, automatically to this ray of light, the higher you are, the lighter you're going to be. The lower you are, the lighter the further from light you're going to be, the further from the ray you're going to be. So this concept creates a difference of space and time. But if you have Atzmus, Ein Sof, when you call God as an infinite aspect of light, He's Ein Sof, He's unlimited light, So then that light doesn't have the way, if it's unlimited light, so then it's the same way it's like there, it's the same way like here. If you say there's a difference with the way Atzmas, the way God is above to where he's below, then he's a ray again. Then he's a kav. Then his light, you can't say that to God. So God, when God's light comes, when you can have revelation of God's light, so to say, then you'll have then the revelation of godliness, which I'm calling a light. You can call it whatever you want. We call it we give it a name. I don't know if it's a light, but we call it light. Like we call it the neshama, the light of the neshama. We also call it a light. The neshama. What else? We don't have a name to. We don't what? Energy. We don't have a name to it. It's not energy. It's oid. I don't know if oid is energy. I mean, is this energy? I don't know what is this. This is oid. This comes from the. I don't know. The energy is coming from the power station. The energy is coming from the plug. Light. It's oid. It's energy. It is an energy. It's the best name we can give it for surely to godliness. Light. Atzmas, the light of Atzmas, the Hashem is that again is a concept of unlimited light. There's no difference between where the light is. But then there will be no Mata Maila. There will be no concept of Shamayim and Aretz. So there need to be Bereishis Bara Elikim es Hashamayim v'Aretz. The Eibishter, in essence, say Bereishis Bara Elikim. When the Eibishter, Elikim is Gevura, when God did Tzimtzum, created Shamayim v'Aretz. The second God did Tzimtzum, the aspect of this contraction, and then created a light that would be a concept Shamayim and Aretz. You have the creation, Bereishis Bar Elikim, as a Shamayim v'Aretz. And that's why Kabbalah learns the first pasuk of the Torah. Bereishis Bar Elikim, as a Shamayim v'Aretz. Bereishis Bar Elikim. In the beginning, God created the Tzimtzum. That's how you, because how you say Bereishis Bara Elikim, because that doesn't make sense. That's why we don't translate it that way. We say Bereishis, in the beginning, God created. But if you want to translate the verse the way it's written, Bereishis, in the beginning, Bara, he created God. And that's a problem. Moshe Rabbeinu said, how can you say that? How can you rewrite that? You should have said Lakim Bara Bereishis. That's the way the Torah should have been written. Then the Torah would have been written right with an aleph, but beginning with an aleph. But God says, no, I'm going to make someone wants to come and make a mistake, let him come and make a mistake, right? But Kabbalah says there has to still be a reason. So the Eibishter wrote the whole beginning of the Torah, somebody should come and make a mistake. No, because the Eibishter is Bereishis Bara Lakim, and the Eibishter beginning created the Tzimtzum. That's his creation. Created a gevura, a contraction. And what did that accomplish? Shamayim v'Aretz. That automatically accomplished that there's a Shamayim and there's an Aretz. That there's a Yoinim and there's a Tachtainim. But what happens in that way? If you have a Yoinim, Tachtainim, if you have a concept of above and below, so what's in the below? Below is dark and chaotic. Because the below is a distance from the light. If you have above and below, now the below becomes darkness. So the Eibishter created an Eid. That's why he continued. The first day, right away, he created an Eid. He created that this Eid, that this Kav, should be able to come down Lamata. This Eid Hashem should be able to come down in the lowest realms of the world. So that's how in Kabbalah you learn the beginning of creation. The aspect of it in the beginning of creation. So the Eibishter created a Tzimtzum, which created Shamayim v'Aretz, up and below, a distance, so to say. Shamayim Hashem v'Aretz nasam le'av Adam. And then he created Vayivayim Lakem Yi'or. And then God said, let there be a light. Let there be a Kav. And this Kav, this light, will be able to come down to the world, which will bring tikkun to the world, which will bring rectification to the world. Look in the Rashi. Rashi says, ultimately, when would this Kav be revealed? That was hidden away for tzaddikim. You'll ultimately see this Or when Mashiach comes. Or righteous people that can see this Or even this present time. But regular humanity cannot see this Kav, cannot see this Or. So they look at the world that there is a Ma'ila and a Mata. That's how we look at the world. If you cannot see the Or Hashem, we look at the world. Oh, we're in God, we're in dread, we're in Sardis, we're in Sardis. These guys are not in Sardis. I'm in Sardis. Right? We look at the world that there's higher levels and lower levels. There's tzaddikim and there's those. But really, the truth is, it's all Or Hashem. It's all the same thing.
So tzaddikim can see actually.
Yeah, that's what it says. A tzaddik never in galus. A tzaddik is not in galus because by him he sees the Or. He sees the Or. He sees the emes.
Can't see.
And he can't see. Jack can see, but we're not tzaddikim. We don't see. We are in the darkness. So we see. There is more Or, in the shoulders more Or, here's less Or. There's it. So we see, we have to go here, we have to get, if I was there, I would be better, if I would have been born here, if I wouldn't have been born there, everything is like, because I'm born here and I'm born there and this, so what do you want? I'm far away from the Or. Right? I was not Zeicha to be born closer to the Or. I was not Zeicha to be near the Or, closer to the Or. And that is not emes. That's not the emes. Because the Eibishter created an Or, and he created this Or in a Kav. So that ultimately this Or should be able to come in every place where this Or needs to come. So that's in essence. And that's why if you don't bring out the Or, that's why in simple terms, if you don't bring the Or to the Tachtonim, you have chaos. You go back to the beginning, you have chaos. You run away from the emes, you have chaos. Chaotic world. And that's what we have. We have a chaotic world. But you can bring the chaotic world to your own world. You can have a chaotic existence in your own existence. You don't have to go to the world. My own world is in a chaotic situation. Why? Because I feel like it's the dark world. I feel like it's a tachtin, it's a dark world. And how do I bring into this dark world some light? Well, that's why the Eibush did it that way. That we will be able to bring an Or into this world. Every person according to their level, according to their capability. Imagine if God would have revealed this light, we'll all be taka equal. And we'll all be the same. And there'll be no concept of my Maila and I wouldn't understand my purpose in the world because we'll all be the same. Like Neshamas L'Maila. The Eibishter wanted that we should be different. Every one of us should be different. Every one of us should come from a different situation. Not one of us around this table has come from the same situation. We all come from different situations.
And we have different DNAs.
And we have different DNAs, and we deal with different realities, and we come from different backgrounds, and we come from different agendas. And then the Eibishter says, but I've given to you, every one of you, the same purpose in life. And I'm not here trying to change your agenda. Everybody needs to come with their agenda and to bring out this Or Hashem in the world. And that's the beauty. And that's why the Eibishter created this concept. It's a beautiful concept which gives each and every one of us our singular purpose in the world. And nobody can accomplish that purpose in the world but me through this concept. Because there is differences, and that's why God did it. So the second way, the Rebbe continues, the second way that a higher and lower worlds can be defined is whenever or not the concept of the vision of levels applies to them. According to this definition, the higher world is higher because it's beyond creation and is pure expression of Hashem's unity, and therefore is not subject to the concept, the vision of levels. The lower worlds refers to all worlds, both spiritual and physical, within the limits of creation. And they are divided from one another regarding how much godness they reveal. This second definition of higher and lower will place both the higher and lower categories of first definition in the lower category. So then you have the higher and lower is from the beginning of creation of time and creation of worlds in general. So in the higher, the Olam Atzilus is the highest world. Olam Atzilus in Kabbalah is the highest world. It's called the world of emanation. Why is it the highest world? Because in that world, everything is unified. It's much unity. There's much a greater unity in that world. That means the definitions of the world, which is always the 10 sfirot of each and every world in Kabbalah, from Chachma till Malchus, they are much more unified in that world. But still, there's still separation in that world. When you say something is unified, that means there was separation, that they were unified. They became unified. So there's still Chesed and Gevurah and Tiferes and Netzach in that world, but it's unified. That's a creation. How much unity you're going to bring into the world is still a creation. And therefore it's a lower world. God, you can't say God is the concept of unity. God is above definition of being separated, unified, and he has an aspect of unity with him. Brahma brings about unity. But what is the Eibush? It's above that definition. So therefore God is higher and everything is lower. God is the creator and everything is the creation. So what is higher and what's lower? There's no such thing as higher and lower. The higher is God, everything else is lower. What's the difference between let's say the realm of an example of a king and his subjects? What's the difference between a regular simple person and the biggest minister to the king? They're both subjects. To the king, they're both subject. Because the king is not a subject. The salary is different. But not in the concept of to the king is there. Right, so he gets a bigger salary, I get a lower salary. But to the king, we're both subjects. So to the king, we're both lower. Yes. None of us can show too much ego to the king. Not the minister, and not the simple person. Actually, the minister will get his head chopped off faster than the simple person. That's why in the aspect the Eibush is much more particular with tzaddikim. Yeah. The more Torah you know, you're very close to God. So now you better be careful, right? Being close doesn't make you greater protection.
Ignorance is bliss.
You have maybe less protection.
So it's a paradox. On one hand, you want to be closer to him.
That's it.
On the other hand,
You gotta earn it.
you are at risk.
Yeah.
What, you want to be a simple person?
You're a risk anyway.
Yeah, you want to be a simple person.
Humble.
Tamim tiyeh Hashem elekecha.
Closer to him, right?
Yeah, but to realize that even how close you are, you're far. That's the problem when you get ego. When the minister gets ego and thinks that he's a pal with the Eibishter, with the king, that's when he gets into problems. A simple person knows that he's the schlepper.
Don't get too comfortable.
So but a minister might think, he's a tzaddik. He can slap the king on his back. That's going to get you in trouble. So you gotta know, the minister also has to know to the king he's a simple person. And the truth is that's why tzaddikim were humble, because they understood. Actually, they were more humble than the simple people. The more simple people that got arrogant to God. A tzaddik was very humble to God because he understood the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He was mevatel his ego. So he was mevatel his ego. So you understand? So that's right. So if you attack a minister before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you were Moshe Rabbeinu, you were totally bottled. Because you understood the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu more than a simple person understood the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why the Yidden rebelled, not Moshe Rabbeinu rebelled. So everything has it's the positive. It says the Baal Shem Tov says the Mashiach is going to come. Is going to be a revelation of the simple people. Because the positive of a simple person is he does things also. He does things be'emunah. He does that's it. He does things because that's what the Eibush said, and that's it. Nishav has now we have great Havana, now we have great sight, now we have see the revelations. We just do things that we're supposed to do. And that's the beauty of a pashtus tikiyid. So there's the beauty in both realms of things. Because you know why there's a beauty of, that's why the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, that a person should not want to be something else. You're not going to be a tzaddik. Finish. It's out of your realm, so finish. Stop working on something you're not going to be, and finish. So that's not your avodah. Oh, now I'm depressed, I'm not going to be a tzaddik. Right? No, because that's not your avodah. That's not the avodah. So therefore, Adam needs to be makir mekayme. In life, everybody needs to know who he is and what his potential is. And if I'm not going to be a tzaddik, then I don't need to be a tzaddik. And that's not my avodas Hashem. So that's actually the beauty. The Eibishter created this aspect that you don't need to be a tzaddik to do your purpose in life and to accomplish the purpose. And actually, you might accomplish your purpose and it'll be a greater purpose to the Eibishter than a tzaddik does his purpose. Because God needs your purpose that's much he needs a tzaddik's agenda. He needs every person's avodah. The beautiful expression that Rebbe says that if you understand that a mitzvah is doing the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that brings about the Eir Hashem in the world, then the Eibishter is dancing on even one mitzvah that a Jew will do. Even one mitzvah that a Jew will do, God is making a kiddush l'mayla. He enjoys that mitzvah because that one mitzvah to the Eibishter is fulfilling his ratzon, and there's no greater joy to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when his ratzon is fulfilled. And he says in the time, the Eibishter says he has a ratzon, and a yid fulfills that ratzon, and he brings about a Eir Hashem to the world, which is the whole purpose of creation. To the Eibishter, that one mitzvah, sure the guy should do 100 mitzvahs, but that one mitzvah to the Eibishter, to God, it's the most greatest accomplishment and the most greatest joy that he can have.
How do we compare and contrast that with no matter what we do and how much into what we do, it's still not enough or it could affect Hashem in a way too. So there's that aspect, but there's also an element of like no matter what we do too, Hashem is going to try to.
Right. No, because the Eibishter wanted to have many concepts in the world, and the potential, a person has to feel like his potential is not done. There's always more that he can do. There's always more he can bring down. There's always more accomplishments he can do in the world. But not that what he has accomplished is nothing. A person should not think, because I didn't do 100 things, my one thing is nothing, is worthless. No. The Eibishter made every mitzvah, and that mitzvah is 100% worth something. It has an unbelievable worth to the creation. And that one good deed is an unbelievable accomplishment. Should we do another good deed? 100%. Mitzvah geredas mitzvah. And we should do another good deed. And we should continue on doing good deeds. Because that brings the purpose of creation. Doing a good deed, doing a mitzvah brings the purpose of creation. Everything else that I do in life is not accomplishing, is the way it brings out the purpose of creation. But I can live life through my whole life and I've not done my purpose in my creation, in the purpose of creation. I've done everything else.
How do you know what's your purpose?
You have a mitzvah, that's your purpose. That's your purpose. Your purpose is 613 commandments of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is, that's I say to a Yid, the world goes around and says, what is my purpose? To a Jew, it's a simple answer. And you say it in Pirkei Avos. Ani loy nevresi ela l'shamish eshkeini. I was created to serve God. That's my purpose. How do I serve the Eibishter? I have a Torah, 630 commandments. I was not created to go out and mutcha my life out and pay bills. I cannot do my purpose if I don't do that. But that's not my purpose. My purpose is to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We have to learn from the bees, Their whole purpose is to basically take care of the queen.
That's it.
That's all they do.
That's it.
Nothing else.
That's it. But the problem is the bees don't have all these issues. They're not emotional issues, wife issues, children issues. They don't have these issues, Baruch Hashem. We have a lot of issues. We have a lot of problems. Comes along with a lot of luggage. And that is there to distract us from our purpose. That's the Yetzer Hara. It's there to distract us from our purpose. And therefore, he has to never lose his focus and his purpose of why he was created. He was created l'sham mishkeni, and his wife and his children and his house and his parnasa and all the headaches that come along with it is all for that purpose. He cannot lose that purpose, and actually it enhances his purpose. Baruch Hashem that he has a wife, helps him have a beautiful home to create that purpose. He has children, continues the purpose, makes even the purpose even greater, because now his purpose becomes everlasting. Because his children, he'll bring up his children correctly in that purpose. They're going to bring up their children. It's unlimited. And now it created a nitzistic thing in that aspect. That has to be the focus. That has to be the agenda. Everything else is part of the agenda. That's the purpose. It's simple. It's a simple purpose. Simple purpose. You want to make it difficult? Gesundheit. That is our free choice. We can make it difficult. We can create havoc in this purpose. We can kvetch. We can complain. It's not going to change anything. Okay, you're kvetching. I'm changing the purpose. No, I have put it in the system of creation, the world. The purpose. This is the purpose of Am Yisrael. This is the purpose of a Jewish person. This is the purpose of every Jew. That's it. Take it or leave it. That's it. It's simple. You want to make it difficult? Gesundheit. That's your free choice. And we do make it difficult. Oh, I don't know, and I don't understand. Well, I understand. Do you have an Avodas Hashem? It's not going to change. What?
We don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. That's your purpose. How can you have a choice if you're created for that? How can you have to change your DNA? You can't change your DNA. You know, there's a guy in India who's suing his parents that they gave. It's true that they gave birth to him against his will.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, he's suing his parents. He was born against his will.
I thought it was a fake.
He didn't want to be born, and they brought him into the world against his will. He's suing his parents. What I'm amazed is that it's happening in India, not in America. Because I think in India he's going to lose. In America he might win.
Next week.
In America, he actually might win. He should have sued in America because he was some crazy judge. You shouldn't have them born, and now you're gonna get sued. You're gonna get whatever. We're having the $20 million. You have to pay $20 million because you gave birth to him against his will. We say in the Torah, we say it in the Mishnah. You had no choice to be born, and you're gonna be forced to die.
In Vermont, they're going to stop that because they're just trying to pass a law in Vermont that babies do not have rights. So therefore,
That's even worse. I could really sue them.
they kill them.
I know, but that's a chutzpah. You could have killed me, and you didn't kill me. I'm suing you. You should have killed me. I didn't want to be here.
They're passing a law in Vermont that babies who are born do not have rights. Therefore, it gives them the right to kill them. I mean, you are basically trying to help people to have babies. That's your job.
Because we forgot our purpose.
Virginia,
We forgot our purpose.
New York,
You know, yesterday we gave
they're
it.
willing to kill a baby who's born. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just born.
that's insane.
And they can kill it.
That guy's crazy too. Go ahead, Rabbi.
Yesterday we had a class in jails.
Something is wrong.
You know,
it's
so there's-
like Paro. You know, I think
You
we've
could
reached
bite
the
them and
point-
just keep.
You know,
we've
we,
reached the point of Paro.
you know, yeah.
Babies. This is where we are right
But we're calling it killing humanity. You know how many people are in jail in America?
Lots. So many. It's not even. You don't want to hear.
Close to 3 million people are in jail in America. It's a factory. A factory of jails. And it's like the state of Kansas. The whole state is in jail. Can you imagine a whole state that's in jail?
Is there a Chabad in Kansas?
Well, and the Torah is against jail. Why? The Torah is against jail. Why? Because you can't take away from the purpose of creation. The aim is to create every person with a purpose. You cannot take away his purpose. And a jail takes away the purpose of life.
If somebody kills somebody,
That's
what
it.
do you do?
Okay, so some people need to. Halavai, there's no 3 million murderers.
Right.
Most of the people in jail are not murderers. They're doing drug things, ganeva, etc. That's what our jails are filled with. And what? And why? And why? For what purpose is it? What purpose? Do something that they should have a purpose in life. Take away people from their purpose of life is heipach hatayra. Heipach hatayra. Take away. If a person murders somebody, so better kill him in the Torah than take away his purpose in life. There's no reason to have him in life. So that's what it tells you. That somebody kills somebody, you kill him. Weiter gefahren. Next. If it's somebody that's evil and cannot be judged, kill him. If somebody steals, make him pay. Make him pay double. Make him pay triple. Whatever. But don't take away his purpose in life. That's why prison by Judaism is you send him to Ari Miklat. Ari Miklat is a prison that's a city. It's a regular city. He goes with his wife there. He goes with his children there. He has commerce. He does parnasa. And he lives in a city. So he can't live in the city. Don't take away his purpose in life. He can go to shul every day. He actually has to go to shul every day because he's in the city of Levium. And that's he continues his purpose in life. And he has to fix his ways. But if you take away a purpose in life, you make him ois mensch. You tell him he's an animal. He's a number. He lost his humanity. So he's a nothing.
And we study that the mother of the Kohen HaGadol
Right.
for him.
Correct. Because he would need it until the Kohen HaGadol would die. It's okay. So that's chas v'shalom, to take away a purpose for the human being. Kibitzelem elekim asas adam. Even a murderer was also created b'tzelem elekim. He's not. You say a murderer is a monster. He's not. He's a human being. That's why he should be punished, because he's a human being. If you say he's an animal, so why you punish him? You kill an animal that kills. He's not an animal. Every human being is a human being, and therefore they're responsible. Because they have it selam elikim and they have free choice, and they're responsible for their actions.
And Eved Ivri, who the Beis Din sells because he was a garnet and he can't pay it back, they put him with a Jewish family. In other words, in a Makom Torah and Mitzvahs, instead of throwing him into the...
So that's right. Because why? So the Chassidus says, the Torah says, because again, it's selam elikim. You can't make a person ois person. You cannot do that. You can't diminish the value of a person. Actually, in Eved, said Eved melech. The Gemara says, if anybody bought a slave, brought a master to himself, especially a Jewish slave, you brought a master, he became your balabas. Don't hire so fast a Jewish slave. If you're looking for a real good slave, you're not gonna work hard with him. You have to support him. You have to support his family, etc., etc. So you have this concept that the Eibishter wanted, the God wanted, and this came about through this kav, through this tzimtzum, that the Eibishter wanted that everybody should feel his purpose. That even though there's a general purpose in creation, which is a Torah, but everybody should feel their purpose in the Torah. You can say in a second, that we all have a chelik in the Torah. We all feel, what is my, Zalman Bukiet is different than everybody, and what is my agenda in this purpose? Where's my personal purpose in it? How do I take the Torah and create it my personal agenda? Use my character, use my capability in this purpose, and we all can do that. And that's the beauty, what the Eibishter did in the first day of creation with this husband.